first things first, congratulations on successfully clearing your CAT examinations. If you guys feel that clearing CAT was one big hurdle, then I must say that there's another big hurdle knocking at your door. Yes, your personal interviews. So to prepare for the content of your interview, you have to spend some time introspecting about yourself, right? Start reading one business newspaper every day and analyze your take, what your opinions are, what are your views on the recent happenings that are going around the world. While describing any situation, you can basically follow a very good framework which we call STAR framework, right? So S stands for situation, where you give the background of the situation, what the situation actually is. T is for task, which shows that what tasks you have to do, what are the tasks that you're supposed to do, right? And A is for actions, which shows that what actions you took to complete that task and how did you go about that task, and R are for results and what were the results of that action. And you should very well know about the city you belong from or you have lived in, right? If so let's say I am from Calcutta, so I've been asked many times that what are the things that make Calcutta what it is, right? So you should know about your city well, you should know about yourself well, and you should know about every single line that is on your CV. So I think if you can focus on this point, this will help you ace any interviews. So let's bring you one mock interview to show you how all this is put into effect, and this will surely help you guys. Alright, all the best.
So Siddharth, so please can you tell me something about yourself?
Yes, sir. My name is Siddharth. I was born in this place called Madurai, which is in Tamil Nadu. I was brought up in Chennai, and I played a lot of football in my time in Chennai for my school team. And after a lot of studies and preparation for exams, etc., I joined VIT Vellore for mechanical engineering. And in VIT, I was in a lot of clubs like English Literary Association, and I coordinated a lot of events also in the college. So, and my mother is a yoga teacher, and my father is an entrepreneur he's an independent consultant for infrastructure development industries. So, I've seen a lot of problem solving happening in the house. Not just for my problems, they also solve their business problems sitting around the dinner table, etc. And I've seen my dad do a lot of accounting with me, but I didn't understand anything. So this is what my life is about, and I want to do those things on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you, Siddharth. So you said that you like to solve problems, right?
Yes.
So what according to you are the biggest problems in India right now?
I think so. I travel quite a bit, sir, in terms of traveling in public transport, etc. So the main two problems which come to my mind are healthcare and education. So in healthcare sector, we have a lot of deficiency in terms of access to affordable healthcare. So once I was in a village and I got really sick, and I couldn't find any place except a government hospital nearby. And even at that hospital, it took me about 2 hours to reach the doctor. So this is after I knew what exactly to do in that place. And I saw a lot of uneducated people who were roaming around that area, finding out what to do next. And it's so time consuming and so inefficient. So I think that is a major problem to solve. And talking about education, that is the second problem. So in my areas and neighborhood areas, I've seen a lot of domestic help, and people in the lower strata of society, they are actually really good at what they do, but they're not able to gain jobs in much higher position, mainly because of lack of education. And this is creating a multiplier effect where their kids are also not able to go and learn their things. Even though they know the importance of education, they don't enforce it enough, mainly because of poverty and also lack of drive from their side, because they don't know the importance of education. So I think these two are the biggest problems to be solved.
Okay, but government is doing a lot of things in education, right? There are so many government school, colleges, there are scholarships. So what do you think more should be done?
Yeah, I think they're doing the right things actually. Mainly because the people who are strategizing for the government in India are really educated people who have done a lot of research on how to go about doing this. But the main problem is implementation. So when there are different levels of government and different stakeholders, so people like the central government, the state government, and the corporation societies are these people. So they all define different goals for themselves. Even though publicly it's one goal of educating people of affordable healthcare, they have different agendas for each area. So and this difference in agendas and this misalignment is causing a lot of lack of implementation of their strategies of what the senior officials want to do.
So I guess gotten into a lot of serious topics, so let's make the mood light. I guess there are many festivals right now, and in general, there are many festivals in
Yeah.
India. So, do you think it's okay to have so many festivals? Isn't it a waste of money?
Absolutely. So I've been having a lot of holidays, and I love holidays. So that's one thing. So I think it should be there. Second thing is, we should be happy about our culture. If you want a festival for your culture and you have a lot of people following it, definitely you should go ahead and celebrate that. So festivals are basically celebrations, and what is life without some little bit of celebration?
So if you're talking about tradition so much, why don't you wear a dhoti to the interview?
So, I think first of all, I wouldn't want to differentiate myself like that. I don't want to attract unwanted attention to myself, and I think I won't be taken seriously. First of all, if I'm wearing dhoti, why do I have to get unnecessary attention, right? So the second thing would be, first of all, second of all, we need to be proud of what we've come through, and that's what I believe in. So if I've seen my grandparents do something, rituals, etc., it's more about they have a reason to do it, and they've been doing it for years. It's not without reason. So I've seen my grandfather always wears a dhoti, right? So it's because he's comfortable with it. So if you're comfortable with something, please practice it, please celebrate it. So that's what I believe in. If you're comfortable with it, go ahead.
That's great. So, in the problems you mentioned, education and healthcare.
Yes.
Don't you think environment is also a problematic area that we need to work on?
Definitely. So we've seen a lot of issues raised up, especially in terms of carbon footprint, etc. So it's definitely a big problem.
Okay, so have you ever heard of acid rain? You have any idea what it is?
So acid rain. Okay. So I think I've read something about this in my school time. So it's pretty long back. So anyway, so so when there's a lot of gases in the upper layers of the atmosphere, and these are very volatile gases. So when we have a lot of rain coming during the times when there are gases up there, mainly these gases are coming from the industries, and so the gases like sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, etc. So when they mix with H2O, that is water, it comes down as an acidic rainfall. So this rainfall is very acidic in nature, and it's very unhealthy for the plants, for the skin of people, generally bad for the ecosystem. So I think that's what acid rain is.
So, talking about environment, our major focus nowadays is greenhouse effect and global warming. So
Yes.
what do you know about it, and what do you think can be done about it?
First of all, greenhouse effect is basically when you explain the earth surrounded by a glass of layer of glass. So that's like the ozone layer. So all the industries which cause pollution make holes in these ozone layers, and when radiation like the sun's radiation comes in, which high energy, it is easily able to penetrate this layer, which is actually meant to protect us. And once it comes in, it affects all of us. It increases temperature, etc. And this energy is trapped in because the wavelength which is coming in is much lower than the wavelength which is going out. So unless you have a very low wavelength, you can't have high energy. So you can't really it can't be radiated back. So this is where the problem arises. And talking about the global warming scenario, I've been to Himalayas also once, and I've seen a lot of brilliant mountains, snow-capped mountains. So I'm sure they're going to disappear if we continue this way. So having UN conferences like Kyoto Protocol, etc., where a lot of countries are focusing on these things. So this will actually bring awareness to the common public, and the common public is where we need to drive it. So once you're responsible for the lights you're switching on, etc., I think everybody accumulates these responsibilities, and that goes to the top, and everybody gets a better feel.
Okay. So that you said that you like to travel a lot, right?
Yes.
How do you normally travel? Bus, airplane, or train?
So talking about coming here, I first took a flight, and then from there I took a cab. So I would like to travel a lot more on flights, so definitely.
So what do you think the weight of an airplane will be?
Weight of an airplane?
Yeah.
Okay, so there are a lot of things. So can I take a pen and paper?
Yeah, sure. Please,
So I would first consider the people. So there are the aircraft I came in had 300 people, so 300, and I'm going to average as 70 kilos per person, so that's 70. That's around 21,000 kilos per people. Then there are bags, so people carry baggage. Okay, and so I would estimate around 10 kilos per person, because the maximum limit is 15, and if you can average it, it'll be 10. So 300 into 10 again. That's around 3000 kgs of baggage. Then fuel. So I think the 1 liter fuel costs around 70. So, and we are paying around 2000 rupees surcharge for in flight. So 2000 by 70 is around 30, and that means 30 liters per person. So 30 into 300, that is 9000. So I'm going to 9000 liters. So I'm going to equate it to water, which is 1 kilo. So that's 9000 kilos. Then engines. So the main component, I'm going to estimate the engine to be around 1000 kilos, mainly because it has a lot of turbines and stuff like that, which is really heavy. So 1000 kilos per engine, and there are 4 engines in the flight, so there are 4000 kilos more. So now talking about the body of the plane, I think I would go with half the weight of the things it needs to carry. So right now we've added up to 37,000. So if you can add around 18,000 kilos for the aluminium alloy bodies, it'll be like 17,000. So total I would estimate to be 30, 37, 44, 54,000 kilos. So that would be my estimate of a airplane's weight.
Can I say calculations?
So,
Are you sure about this? This seems like a lot of guess or
yes, sir. I think I'm thinking about how logical I can make it sound. So there are 4 main components of an airplane, and I've included all that. So I'm sure the real number is pretty close to this one.
that's good. Actually, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. So Siddharth, as I can see from your CV, you have 2 years of IT services experience.
Yes.
So why move into MBA right now?
Okay. So mainly I would explain about how my client, which the project I was working on, was a banking sector. So the client was definitely one of the biggest companies in the world, and especially my boss used to talk about the client so much, because I was wondering why he's always talking about the client. Obviously they're the people who are giving money, but he's been talking about the client's business. He's talking about what the clients need to do next. So I was like, why is he doing that? And that's when I realized he has this perspective of what your clients require. So he started analyzing what his clients want. So that's when the value chain goes around, and I was really stunned when he used to explain how the banking clients, the banking sector's future clients, what they'll be expecting and what kind of services we are going to be providing to make that happen. So that's when it really dawned upon me that I really need to know the business perspective of things to actually understand what's going on, why people actually do what they do. So that's one of the biggest inspirations why I want to learn about this.
But you must have spent your 2 years coding, right? So don't you think that 2 years will be wasted after MBA? You won't be using any of that.
Absolutely. So I think throughout life I'm not just learning to use it to make money immediately. So it's not about just making money, right? According to me, once you learn a skill, it's never lost, it's never wasted. Mainly because the way you learn the skill matters more. So while learning coding, I used to go through a structured training program. So in the structured training program, we used to have plans of what to do and when to do. So I kept following those plans, and that's when I realized having a plan to do things really enforces the end product. So that way, when I learned coding, I didn't just learn coding part of it, but I also learned how to learn coding, and I also learned what kind of thought structure that goes into coding. So that's all. It's all a very technical field, and technical fields always help in improving how you think. So I think I've learned how to think better after this kind of program. So.
What sort of a value add do you think you'll be able to give to the institute and the students?
Okay, so I would think I learned a lot from my mentors in my company. So these guys used to drive a lot of change week in, week out. So we used to have a team of 6 or 7, and within our team, everyone brought different problems and different value to the table. So the manager used to deal so efficiently with each and every one, and so distinctively actually. I could notice. We would all wonder why is he saying the different things to him. So those kind of things really dawned upon me that you have to treat everything according to the merit and demerits of it, and not have one specific generic approach to things. So this early learning of how a team leader works and how a manager works is what I'm going to bring in, especially when I'm going to be meeting other people. I'm going to be knowing how to deal with them, how to interact with them more, how to make each other more productive. So that's what I'll be bringing.
Okay.
So I guess I am done. Parag, do you have any more questions?
Well, even I'm done with the.
Okay. So Siddharth, what about you? Any questions for us?
Yes, sir. So I think I'm gonna have like 3 more months free before I join the business school. So I want to know how to add more value to my life in this 3 months. What kind of things I should do in the next 3 months.
Okay. So according to me, Siddharth, not just for IIM Rohtak, for any B school, I think you will be joining some B school.
Yes.
What you can do is just don't prepare on the technical stuff like marketing or finance. We are there to teach you that. What I'll suggest you, go ahead, explore the world, but also be very relevant on the current affairs. Read a lot, know about the world problems, because then you will be able to apply your B school learnings onto them.
Yes, true.
And the most important thing, have fun. You are going to have a hectic 2 years ahead.
Okay.
Use this opportunity to have fun, but also learn something.
Okay, thank you.
That's more. Anything to add, Parag?
Well, I think you put it very precisely and perfectly. I don't think I need to add anything more.
So, anything else, Siddharth?
No, sir.
Okay. It was a pleasure talking to you, Siddharth.
Thank you, sir.
Best of luck.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.